The Complete Works of William Shakespeare by William Shakespeare. ACTV, Scene I. Plains near Rome. Enter Lucius with an army of Goths with drums and colors. Lucius. Approved warriors and my faithful friends, I have received letters from great Rome which signifies what hate they bear their emperor, and how desirous of our sight they are. Therefore, great lords, be, as your titles witness, imperious and impatient of your wrongs, and wherein Rome hath done you any scath, let him make treble satisfaction. First Goth. Brave slip, sprung from the great Andronicus, whose name was once our terror, now our comfort, whose high exploits and honorable deeds ingrateful Rome requites with foul contempt, be bold in us, we'll follow where thou leadst, like stinging bees in hottest summer's day, led by their master to the flow-red fields, and be avenged on cursed Amora. All the Goths. And as he saith, so say we all with him. Lucius. I humbly thank him, and I thank you all. But who comes here, led by a lusty Goth? Enter a Goth, leading Aaron with his child in his arms. Second Goth. Renowned Lucius, from our troops I strayed to gaze upon a ruinous monastery, and as I earnestly did fix mine eye upon the wasted building, suddenly I heard a child cry underneath a wall. I made unto the noise, when soon I heard the crying babe controlled with this discourse: Peace, tawny slave, half me and half thy dam. Did not thy Hubere, whose brat thou art, had nature lent thee but thy mother's look, villain, thou mightst have been an emperor. But where the bull and cow are both milk-white, they never do beget a coal-black calf. Peace, villain, peace. Even thus he rates the babe, for I must bear thee to a trusty Goth, who, when he knows thou art the empress babe, will hold thee dearly for thy mother's sake. With this, my weapon drawn, I rushed upon him, surprised him suddenly, and brought him hither to use as you think needful of the man. Lucius. O worthy Goth, this is the incarnate devil that robbed Andronicus of his good hand. This is the pearl that pleased your empress eye, and here's the base fruit of her burning lust. Say, wally-wide slave, whither wouldst thou convey this growing image of thy fiend-like face? Why dost not speak? What, deaf? Not a word? A halter, soldiers! Hang him on this tree, and by his side his fruit of bastardy. Aaron. Touch not the boy, he is of royal blood. Lucius. Too like the sire for ever being good. First hang the child, that he may see it sprawl, a sight to vex the father's soul withal. Get me a ladder. A ladder brought, which Aaron is made to climb. Aaron. Lucius, save the child, and bear it from me to the empress. If thou do this, I'll show thee wondrous things that highly may advantage thee to hear. If thou wilt not, befall what may befall, I'll speak no more, but vengeance wrought you all. Lucius. Say on, and if it please me which thou speak'st, thy child shall live, and I will see it nourished. Aaron. And if it please thee? Why, assure thee, Lucius, 'twill vex thy soul to hear what I shall speak, for I must talk of murders, rapes, and massacres, acts of black night, abominable deeds, complots of mischief, treason, villainies, ruthful to hear, yet piteously performed, and this shall all be buried in my death, unless thou swear to me my child shall live. Lucius. Tell on thy mind, I say thy child shall live. Aaron. Swear that he shall, and then I will begin. Lucius. Who should I swear by? Thou believest no God, that granted, how canst thou believe an oath? Aaron. What if I do not? As indeed I do not, yet, for I know thou art religious and hast a thing within thee called conscience, with 20 popish tricks and ceremonies which I have seen thee careful to observe, therefore I urge thy oath. For that I know an idiot holds his bauble for a god, and keeps the oath which by that god he swears, to that I'll urge him. Therefore thou shalt vow by that same god, what god so it be that thou adorest, and hast in reverence to save my boy, to nourish and bring him up, or else I will discover not to thee. Lucius. Even by my God I swear to thee I will. Aaron. First know thou, I begot him on the empress. Lucius. O most insatiate and luxurious woman, Aaron. Tut, Lucius, this was but a deed of charity to that which thou shalt hear of me anon. 'Twas her 2 sons that murdered Bassianus. They cut thy sister's tongue, and ravished her, and cut her hands, and trimmed her as thou sawest. Lucius. O detestable villain! Call'st thou that trimming? Aaron. Why, she was washed, and cut, and trimmed, and 'twas trim sport for them which had the doing of it. Lucius. O barbarous beastly villains like thyself! Aaron. Indeed, I was their tutor to instruct them. That cotting spirit had they from their mother, as sure a card as ever won the set. That bloody mind, I think, they learned of me, as true a dog as ever fought at head. Well, let my deeds be witness of my worth. I trained thy brethren to that guileful hole where the dead corpse of Bassianus lay. I wrote the letter that thy father found, and hid the gold within that let. Termention, confederate with the queen and her 2 sons, and what not done, that thou hast cause to rue, wherein I had no stroke of mischief in it. I played the cheater for thy father's hand, and when I had it, drew myself apart, and almost broke my heart with extreme laughter. I pried me through the crevice of a wall, when, for his hand, he had his 2 sons' heads, beheld his tears, and laughed so heartily that both mine eyes were rainy like to his. And when I told the Empress of this sport, she swooned almost at my pleasing tale, and for my tidings gave me 20 kisses. Goth. What, canst thou say all this and never blush? Aaron. Aye, like a black dog, as the saying is. Lucius. Art thou not sorry for these heinous deeds? Aaron. Aye, that I had not done 1,000 more. Even now I curse the day, and yet I think few come within the compass of my curse wherein I did not some notorious ill, as kill a man, or else devise his death, ravish a maid, or plot the way to do it, accuse some innocent, and forswear myself, set deadly enmity between 2 friends, make poor men's cattle break their necks, set fire on barns and haystacks in the night, and bid the owners quench them with their tears. Oft have I digged up dead men from their graves, and set them upright at their dear friend's door even when their sorrows almost was forgot, and on their skins, as on the bark of trees, have with my knife carved in Roman letters, "Let not your sorrow die, though I am dead." Tut, I have done 1,000 dreadful things as willingly as one would kill a fly, and nothing grieves me heartily indeed but that I cannot do 10,000 more. Lucius. Bring down the devil, for he must not die so sweet a death as hanging presently. Aaron. If there be devils, would I were a devil, to live and burn in everlasting fire, so I might have your company in hell but to torment you with my bitter tongue. Lucius. Sirs, stop his mouth, and let him speak no more. Enter Emilius Goth. My lord, there is a messenger from Rome desires to be admitted to your presence. Lucius. Let him come near. Welcome, Emilius. What's the news from Rome? Emilius. Lord Lucius, and you princes of the Goths, the Roman Emperor greets you all by me, and for he understands you are in arms, he craves a parley at your father's house, willing you to demand your hostages, and they shall be immediately delivered. First Goth. What says our general? Lucius. Emilius, let the emperor give his pledges unto my father and my uncle Marcus, and we will come. March away. Extant Scene 2. Rome. Before Titus' house enter Timora, and her 2 sons, Demetrius and Chiron, disguised Timora. Thus, in this strange and sad habiliment, I will encounter with Andronicus, and say I am Revenge, sent from below to join with him, and right his heinous wrongs. Knock at his study, where they say he keeps to ruminate strange plots of dire revenge. Tell him Revenge is come to join with him, and work confusion on his enemies. They knock, and Titus opens his study door, above Titus. Who doth molest my contemplation? Is it your trick to make me ope the door, that so my sad decrees may fly away and all my study be to no effect? You are deceived, for what I mean to do see here in bloody lines I have set down, and what is written shall be executed. Timora. Titus, I am come to talk with thee. Titus. No, not a word. How can I grace my talk, wanting a hand to give it that accord? Thou hast the odds of me, therefore no more. Timora. If thou didst know me, thou wouldst talk with me. Titus. I am not mad, I know thee well enough. Witness this wretched stump, witness these crimson lines, witness these trenches made by grief and care, witness the tiring day and heavy night, witness all sorrow that I know thee well for our proud empress, mighty Timora. Is not thy coming for my other hand? Timora. Know thou, sad man, I am not Timora, she is thy enemy and I thy friend. I am Revenge, sent from th infernal kingdom to ease the gnawing vulture of thy mind by working wreakful vengeance on thy foes. Come down and welcome me to this world's light, confer with me of murder and of death. There's not a hollow cave or lurking place, no vast obscurity or misty veil, where bloody murder or detested rape can couch for fear, but I will find them out, and in their ears tell them my dreadful name Revenge, which makes the foul offender quake. Titus. Art thou Revenge? And art thou sent to me to be a torment to mine enemies? Timora. I am, therefore come down and welcome me. Titus. Do me some service ere I come to thee. Lo, by thy side where rape and murder stands, now give some surance that thou art Revenge. Stab them, or tear them on thy chariot wheels, and then I'll come and be thy wagoner and whirl along with thee about the globes. Provide thee 2 proper palfreys, black as jet, to hail thy vengeful wagons swift away, and find out murderers in their guilty caves, and when thy car is loaden with their heads, I will dismount, and by thy wagon will trot, like a servile footman, all day long, even from Hyperion's rising in the east until his very downfall in the sea. And day by day I'll do this heavy task, so thou destroy rapine and murder there. Timora. These are my ministers, and come with me. Titus. Are they thy ministers? What are they called? Timora. Rape and murder, therefore called so cause they take vengeance of such kind of men. Titus. Good Lord, how like the Empress' sons they are! And you the Empress! But we worldly men have miserable, mad, mistaking eyes. O sweet Revenge, now do I come to thee, and if one arm's embracement will content thee, I will embrace thee in it by and by. Timora. This closing with him fits his lunacy. Whatever I forge to feed his brain-sick humors, do you uphold and maintain in your speeches, for now he firmly takes me for Revenge, and being credulous in this mad thought, I'll make him send for Lucius his son, and whilst I at a banquet hold him sure, I'll find some cunning practice out of hand to scatter and disperse the giddy Goths, or, at the least, make them his enemies. See, here he comes, and I must ply my theme. Enter Titus, below Titus. Long have I been forlorn, and all for thee. Welcome, dread Fury, to my woeful house. Rapine and murder, you are welcome too. How like the Empress and her sons you are! Well are you fitted had you but a more. Could not all hell afford you such a devil? For well I wot the Empress never wags but in her company there is a more, and would you represent our Queen aright, it were convenient you had such a devil. But welcome as you are. What shall we do? Timora. What wouldst thou have us do, Andronicus? Demetrius. Show me a murderer, I'll deal with him. Chiron. Show me a villain that hath done a rape, and I am sent to be revenged on him. Timora. Show me 1,000 that hath done thee wrong, and I will be revenged on them all. Titus. Look round about the wicked streets of Rome, and when thou find'st a man that's like thyself, good murder, stab him, he's a murderer. Go thou with him, and when it is thy hap to find another that is like to thee, good rapine, stab him, he is a ravisher. Go thou with them, and in the emperor's court there is a queen, attended by a Moor. Well shalt thou know her by thine own proportion, for up and down she doth resemble thee. I pray thee, do on them some violent death, they have been violent to me and mine. Timora. Well hast thou lessoned us, this shall we do. But would it please thee, good Andronicus, to send for Lucius, thy thrice valiant son, who leads towards Rome a band of warlike Goths, and bid him come and banquet at thy house? When he is here, even at thy solemn feast, I will bring in the Empress and her sons, the Emperor himself, and all thy foes, and at thy mercy shall they stoop and kneel, and on them shalt thou ease thy angry heart. What says Andronicus to this device? Titus. Marcus, my brother! 'Tis sad Titus calls. Enter Marcus, go, gentle Marcus, to thy nephew Lucius. Thou shalt inquire him out among the Goths. Bid him repair to me, and bring with him some of the chiefest princes of the Goths. Bid him encamp his soldiers where they are. Tell him the Emperor and the Empress to feast at my house, and he shall feast with them. This do thou for my love, and so let him, as he regards his aged father's life. Marcus. This will I do, and soon return again. Exit Timora. Now will I hence about thy business, and take my ministers along with me. Titus. Nay, nay, let rape and murder stay with me, or else I'll call my brother back again, and cleave to no revenge but Lucius. Timora. Aside to her sons, what say you, boys? Will you abide with him, whiles I go tell my lord the Emperor how I have governed our determined jest? Yield to his humor, smooth and speak him fair, and tarry with him till I turn again. Titus. Aside, I knew them all, though they suppositoried me mad, and will o'erreach them in their own devices, a pair of cursed hellhounds and their dam. Demetrius. Madam, depart at pleasure, leave us here. Timora. Farewell, Andronicus, revenge now goes to lay a complot to betray thy foes. Titus. I know thou dost, and sweet revenge, farewell. Exit Timora Chiron. Tell us, old man, how shall we be employed? Titus. Tut, I have work enough for you to do. Publius, come hither, Caius, and Valentine. Enter Publius, Cius, and Valentine Publius. What is your will? Titus. Know you these two? Publius. The Empress' sons, I take them, Chiron, Demetrius. Titus. Fie, Publius, fie! Thou art too much deceived. The one is murder, and rape is the other's name, and therefore bind them, gentle Publius, Caius, and Valentine, lay hands on them. Oft have you heard me wish for such an hour, and now I find it, therefore bind them sure, and stop their mouths if they begin to cry. Exit, they lay hold on Chiron and Demetrius. Chiron. Villains, forbear! We are the Empress' sons. Publius. And therefore do we what we are commanded. Stop close their mouths, let them not speak a word. Is he sure bound? Look that you bind them fast. Re-enter Titus Andronicus with a knife, and Lavinia, with a basin. Titus. Come, come, Lavinia, look, thy foes are bound. Sirs, stop their mouths, let them not speak to me, but let them hear what fearful words I utter. O villains, Chiron and Demetrius! Here stands the spring whom you have stained with mud, this goodly summer with your winter mixed. You killed her husband, and for that vile fault 2 of her brothers were condemned to death, my hand cut off and made a merry jest. Both her sweet hands, her tongue, and that more dear than hands or tongue, her spotless chastity, inhuman traitors, you constrained and forked. What would you say, if I should let you speak? Villains, for shame you could not beg for grace. Hark, wretches! How I mean to martyr you! This one hand yet is left to cut your throats, whiles that Lavinia 'tween her stumps doth hold the basin that receives your guilty blood. You know your mother means to feast with me, and calls herself revenge, and thinks me mad. Hark, villains! I will grind your bones to dust, and with your blood in it I'll make a paste, and of the paste a coffin I will rear, and make 2 pasties of your shameful heads, and bid that strumpet, your unhallowed dam, like to the earth, swallow her own increase. This is the feast that I have bid her to, and this the banquet she shall surfeit on, for worse than Philomel you us my daughter, and worse than Progny I will be revenged. And now prepare your throats. Lavinia, come, receive the blood, and when that they are dead, let me go grind their bones to powder small, and with this hateful liquor temper it, and in that paste let their vile heads be balked. Come, come, be every one officious to make this banquet, which I wish may prove more stern and bloody than the centaur's feast. He cuts their throats, so. Now bring them in, for I will play the cook, and see them ready against their mother comes. Exeunt. Bearing the dead bodies. Scene 3. The court of Titus' house. Enter Lucius, Marcus, and the Goths, with Aaron prisoner, and his child in the arms of an attendant. Lucius. Uncle Marcus, since 'tis my father's mind that I repair to Rome, I am content. First Goth. And ours with thine, befall what fortune will. Lucius. Good uncle, take you in this barbarous Moor, this ravenous tiger, this accursed devil. Let him receive no sustenance, fetter him, till he be brought unto the Empress' face for testimony of her foul proceedings. And see the ambush of our friends be strong. I fear the Emperor means no good to us. Aaron. Some devil whisper curses in my ear, and prompt me that my tongue may utter forth the venomous malice of my swelling heart. Lucius. Away, inhuman dog, unhallowed slave! Sirs, help our uncle to convey him in. Exeunt Goths with Aaron. Flourish within the trumpets, show the Emperor is at hand. Sound trumpets. Enter Saturninus and Timora, with Emilius, tribunes, senators, and others. Saturninus. What, hath the firmament more sons than one? Lucius. What boots it thee to kin thyself a son? Marcus. Rome's emperor and nephew break the parle. These quarrels must be quietly debated. The feast is ready which the careful Titus hath ordained to an honorable end, for peace, for love, for league, and good to Rome. Please you, therefore, draw nigh and take your places. Saturninus. Marcus, we will. A table brought in. The company sit down, trumpets sounding, enter Titus like a cook, placing the dishes, and Lavinia with a veil over her face, also young Lucius, and others. Titus. Welcome, my lord, welcome, dread queen, welcome, ye warlike Goths, welcome, Lucius, and welcome all. Although the cheer be poor, 'twill fill your stomachs, please you eat of it. Saturninus. Why art thou thus atterred, Andronicus? Titus. Because I would be sure to have all well to entertain your highness and your empress. Timora. We are beholding to you, good Andronicus. Titus. And if your highness knew my heart, you were. My lord the emperor, resolve me this. Was it well done of rash Virginius to slay his daughter with his own right hand, because she was enforked, stained, and deflowered? Saturninus. It was, Andronicus. Titus. Your reason, mighty lord. Saturninus. Because the girl should not survive her shame, and by her presence still renew his sorrows. Titus. A reason mighty, strong, and effectual, a pattern, precedent, and lively warrant for me, most wretched, to perform the like. Die, die, Lavinia, and thy shame with thee. He kills her, and with thy shame thy father's sorrow die. Saturninus. What hast thou done, unnatural and unkind? Titus. Killed her for whom my tears have made me blind. I am as woeful as Virginius was, and have 1,000 times more cause than he to do this outrage, and it now is done. Saturninus. What, was she ravished? Tell who did the deed. Titus. Will't please you eat? Will't please your highness feed? Timora. Why hast thou slain thine only daughter thus? Titus. Not I, 'twas Chiron and Demetrius. They ravished her, and cut away her tongue, and 'twas they, that did her all this wrong. Saturninus. Go, fetch them hither to us presently. Titus. Why, there they are, both baked in this pie, whereof their mother daintily hath fed, eating the flesh that she herself hath bred. 'Tis true, 'tis true, witness my knife's sharp point. He stabs the empress, Saturninus. Die, frantic wretch, for this accursed deed. He stabs Titus Lucius. Can the son's eye behold his father bleed? There's meed for meed, death for a deadly deed. He stabs Saturninus. A great tumult. Lucius, Marcus, and their friends go up into the balcony. Marcus. You Sadafacete men, people and sons of Rome, by uproars severed, as a flight of fowl scattered by winds and high tempestuous gusts? Oh, let me teach you how to knit again this scattered corn into one mutual sheaf, these broken limbs again into one body, lest Rome herself be bane unto herself, and she whom mighty kingdoms curtsy to, like a forlorn and desperate castaway, do shameful execution on herself. But if my frosty signs and chaps of age, grave witnesses of true experience, cannot induce you to attend my words, to Lucius speak, Rome's dear friend, as erst our ancestor, when with his solemn tongue he did discourse to love-sick Dido's sad attending ear the story of that baleful burning night, when subtle Greeks surpriesed King Priam's Troy. Tell us what Sinon hath bewitched our ears, or who hath brought the fatal engine in that gives our Troy, our Rome, the civil wound. My heart is not compact of flint nor steel, nor can I utter all our bitter grief, but floods of tears will drown my oratory and break my utterance, even in the time when it should move ye to attend me most, and force you to commiseration. Here's Rome's young captain, let him tell the tale, while I stand by and weep to hear him speak. Lucius. Then, gracious auditory, be it known to you that Chiron and the damned Demetrius were they that murdered our emperor's brother, and they it were that ravished our sister. For their fell faults our brothers were beheaded, our father's tears despist, and basely cousin of that true hand that fought Rome's quarrel out, and sent her enemies unto the grave. Lastly, myself unkindly banished, the gates shut on me, and turned weeping out, to beg relief among Rome's enemies, who drowned their enmity in my true tears, and opt their arms to embrace me as a friend. I am the turned forth, be it known to you, that have preserved her welfare in my blood and from her bosom took the enemy's point, sheathing the steel in my advent-roused body. Alas! You know I am no vaunter, my scars can witness, dumb although they are, that my report is just and full of truth. But soft! Methinks I do digress too much, citing my worthless praise. Oh, pardon me! For when no friends are by, men praise themselves. Marcus. Now is my turn to speak. Behold the child. Pointing to the child in an attendant's arms, of this was Timora delivered, the issue of an irreligious Moor, chief architect and plotter of these woes. The villain is alive in Titus' house, damned as he is, to witness this is true. Now judge what cause had Titus to revenge these wrongs unspeakable, past patience, or more than any living man could bear. Now have you heard the truth, what say you, Romans? Have we done aught amiss, show us wherein, and from the place where you behold us pleading, the poor remainder of Andronicus will, hand in hand, all headlong hurl ourselves, and on the ragged stones beat forth our souls, and make a mutual closure of our house. Speak, Romans, speak, and if you say we shall, lo, hand in hand, Lucius and I will fall. Emilius. Come, come, thou reverend man of Rome, and bring our emperor gently in thy hand, Lucius our emperor, for well I know the common voice do cry it shall be so. All. Lucius, all hail, Rome's royal emperor. Marcus. Go into old Titus' sorrowful house, and hither hail that misbelieving Moor to be adjudged some direful slaughtering death, as punishment for his most wicked life. Exeunt some attendants. Lucius, Marcus, and the others descend all. Lucius, all hail, Rome's gracious governor. Lucius. Thanks, gentle Romans. May I govern so to heal Rome's harms and wipe away her woe. But gentle people, give me aim awhile, for nature puts me to a heavy task. Stand all aloof, but uncle, draw you near to shed obsequious tears upon this trunk. Oh, take this warm kiss on thy pale cold lips. Kisses Titus, these sorrowful drops upon thy blood-stained face, the last true duties of thy noble son. Marcus. Tear for tear and loving kiss for kiss thy brother Marcus tenders on thy lips. Oh, were the sum of these that I should pay countless and infinite, yet would I pay them. Lucius. Come hither, boy, come, and learn of us to melt in showers. Thy grandsire loved thee well, many a time he danked thee on his knee, sung thee asleep, his loving breast thy pillow, many a story hath he told to thee, and I do thee bear his pretty tales in mind and talk of them when he was dead and gone. Marcus. How many thousand times hath these poor lips, when they were living, warmed themselves on thine. Oh, now, sweet boy, give them their latest kiss. Bid him farewell, commit him to the grave, do them that kindness, and take leave of them. Boy. O grandsire, grandsire! Even with all my heart would I were dead, so you did live again. O Lord, I cannot speak to him for weeping, my tears will choke me, if I ope my mouth. Re-enter attendants with Aaron a Roman. You sad Andronici, have done with woes, give sentence on the execrable wretch that hath been breeder of these dire events. Lucius. Set him breast deep in earth, and famish him, there let him stand and rave and cry for food. If any one relieves or pities him, for the offense he dies. This is our doom. Some stay to see him fast-ned in the earth. Aaron. Ah, why should wrath be mute and fury dumb? I am no baby, I, that with base prayers I should repent the evils I have done. 10,000 worse than ever yet I did would I perform, if I might have my will. If one good deed in all my life I did, I do repent it from my very soul. Lucius. Some loving friends convey the emperor hence, and give him burial in his father's grave. My father and Lavinia shall forthwith be closed in our household's monument. As for that ravenous tiger, Timora, no funeral rite, nor man in mourning weed, no mournful bell shall ring her burial, but throw her forth to beasts and birds to prey. Her life was beastly and devoid of pity, and being dead, let birds on her take pity. Extant the history of Troilus and Cressida contents ACTI Prologue. Scene I. Troy. Before Priam's palace. Scene 2. Troy. A street. Scene 3. The Grecian camp. Before Agamemnon's tent. ACT 2 Scene I. The Grecian camp. Scene 2. Troy. Priam's palace. Scene 3. The Grecian camp. Before the tent of Achilles. ACT 3 Scene I. Troy. Priam's palace. Scene 2. Troy. Pandarus orchard. Scene 3. The Greek camp. ACT 4 Scene I. Troy. A street. Scene 2. Troy. The court of Pandarus' house. Scene 3. Troy. A street before Pandarus' house. Scene 4. Troy. Pandarus' house. Scene V. The Grecian camp. List set out. ACTV Scene I. The Grecian camp. Before the tent of Achilles. Scene 2. The Grecian camp. Before Calchas' tent. Scene 3. Troy. Before Priam's palace. Scene 4. The plain between Troy and the Grecian camp. Scene V. Another part of the plain. Scene 6. Another part of the plain. Scene 7. Another part of the plain. Scene 8. Another part of the plain. Scene 9. Another part of the plain. Scene X. Another part of the plain. Dramatis Personae Priam, king of Troy his sons, Hector Troilus Paris Deiphobus Helenus Margarellin, a bastard son of Priam Trojan commanders, Aeneas Antenor Calchas, a Trojan priest, taking part with the Greeks Pandarus, uncle to Cressida Agamemnon, the Greek general Menelaus, his brother Greek commanders, Achilles Ajax Ulysses Nestor Diomedes Patroclus Thersites. A deformed and scurrilous Greek Alexander, servant to Cressida, servant to Troilus, servant to Paris, servant to Diomedes, Helen, wife to Menelaus and Andronicusi, wife to Hector, Cassandra, daughter to Priam, a prophetess, Cressida, daughter to Calchas, Trojan and Greek soldiers, and attendants seen, Troy and the Greek camp before it. Prologue. In Troy, there lies the scene. From isles of Greece the princes Orgulus, their high blood chafed, have to the port of Athens sent their ships fraught with the ministers and instruments of cruel war. 69 that wore their cronets regal from the Athenian bay put forth toward Phrygia, and their vow is made to ransack Troy, within whose strong immures the ravished Helen, Menelaus' queen, with wanton Paris sleeps, and that's the quarrel. To Tenedos they come, and the deep-drawing barks do there disgorge their warlike fraughtage. Now on Dardan plains the fresh and yet unbruised Greeks do pitch their brave pavilions, Priam's six-gated city, Dardan, and Timbria, Ilias, Chaetas, Troyan, and Antinorides, with massy staples and corresponsive and fulfilling bolts, stir up the sons of Troy. Now expectation, tickling skittish spirits on one and other side, Trojan and Greek, sets all on hazard. And hither am I come a prologue armed, but not in confidence of author's pen or actor's voice, but suited in like conditions as our argument, to tell you, fair beholders, that our play leaps o'er the vaunt and firstlings of those broils, beginning in the middle, starting thence away, to what may be digested in a play. Like or find fault, do as your pleasures are, now good or bad, 'tis but the chance of war.